Welcome to the Spiritual 9 to 5 podcast, hosted by myself, Marie Groover of The Corporate Psychic. It has been a month over here, and in this episode, I want to tap into the chaos that I've been experiencing and talk about what it can feel like to give, even when you have nothing left to give. I want to talk about living life on empty and tapping into the hidden capacity within you. So let's get to it. The best yoga class that I ever taught was the morning after the decision to get a divorce. It was a long night after many weeks of long, hard conversations. I was exhausted and completely depleted. I walked into the studio with absolutely nothing to give, not even my tears. In fact, I only showed up because I had to. I couldn't find a sub. I remember walking to the front of the yoga room and sitting down, closing my eyes, and having no idea what was going to come out of me. And then witnessing as my higher self literally took over. I learned something very important that morning. When you have nothing to give, you have no choice but to surrender to something greater than yourself, to allow the universe to work through you, to pour out of you through your mere presence, your voice, and your being. A well that you didn't know existed suddenly overflows. You don't care about what other people are thinking. It doesn't matter anymore how much money you're making or what the impact or the reward of your service will be. When you have nothing to give except for yourself, in a moment of absolute loss or depletion, you find that you alone are so much more than enough. That yoga class, the one that I didn't think I was capable of teaching, it was my best class ever. It was my deepest opening and offering to my community and to myself. And it came from nothing but from me, from whatever was left of me when I thought there was nothing left of me. And I was left in awe. In January, this January, which isn't even over yet, my partner and I took a few days apart. His dad fell and broke his hip, and after surgery became unresponsive. We had to put my dog Rambo down, one of the hardest days of my life, and bury him in my parents' backyard. I rode in the car with his lifeless body, and my partner carried him to a hole that my dad had dug and gently slid Rambo into the dirt. His dad got to come home, but is now bound to a hospital bed, and hospice has come in. So my partner started staying with his parents to help out, and I had been trying to offer support where I could. And then my mom went into the hospital shortly after with a collapsed lung and an excruciating experience. She was left in the hallway for 12 plus hours before they were able to put her in a small corner of the ED, before anyone, including my dad, including myself, could visit, before I even knew what was going on. When I was able to get there and be with her, advocate for her, it wasn't much better. And witnessing her experience sucked the life out of me. With everything going on, I had to take so much time away from work. I literally texted my boss the other day that I don't think I worked a full week since I started this new role in January. I juggled my personal life, a little bit of my work life, my business, the corporate psychic, my relationship, and my family's. I have never had a harder month in my entire life, with more things happening all at once. It just hasn't happened yet. And yet, I didn't stop showing up, not completely. I nurtured relationships and began working with 2 new and amazing VIP one-on-one clients. I'm in the midst of recording and launching an intuitive and purpose-driven group container, Your Soul's Purpose. There are still spots if you want to sign up with options to work with me one-on-one. And I recorded plus published 4, now 5 podcast episodes. I slowed down my responses to my Instagram DMs and my emails and my activity in the TCP community as well, but I didn't stop. And I still answered every single DM and every single question that came my way. January has been my biggest month financially to date with the corporate psychic. And I didn't show up knowing that it would be. I didn't show up knowing even that I could show up. I'm also not a masochist, I should say. Nor do I think I can, nor do I think we can, or anyone can or should do it all. I believe in rest, trust me. I believe in being fully present for those we love. I believe in taking the time when we need it. And I also know that if I were a mom, I wouldn't get a full break. If you're a mom, tell me the last full break you've taken. And I know that when family needs you, you don't get a full break. When your relationship is tested, when your life is going haywire, when you're about to go production on a new feature, an update in tech, when you're an exec at a major company, you don't get a full break. There are times where you can't always just step away. And this is in life in general, right? Like, rarely do we really get to step fully away from anything. And as a business owner, without a virtual assistant, but hiring a VA as we speak, so reach out to apply. But as a business owner without a VA, when your business needs you, you don't get a full break. I know there are people out there who may disagree with this. And yes, it is always a choice. And yes, you must always choose you. And yes, you absolutely can choose to step away. But sometimes in choosing yourself, you also choose what you're responsible for holding. You also choose to show up. It's not always easy, but you do it anyways. And I'm sharing this to be real with you. If you subscribe to my work, you likely subscribe to my saying that authentic work is your life, aka there's no such thing as work-life balance. It's all your life. There is just your life, and the question is, are you living and showing up authentically in all facets of it? Are you where you want to be? Would you choose to hold the things in your life when your life is tested beyond your limit? All the things that you hold in your life, you are juggling constantly. You may focus a bit more on one thing, but ultimately, you never let anything fall completely to the ground. I mean, in reality, we all do sometimes, and it's okay when we do. But there's a misconception that you can just step away or step out of the things when you're overwhelmed. But there are some things that you can't drop the ball on, like being a parent or a child whose parent is in need, or running a business that requires your presence, or working in a high stakes environment, paying your mortgage or your utility bills, eating and drinking sufficient water. Even when you stop and step away, the world keeps moving with or without you. So, what are the things that you want to move with? What are the things in your life that serves you, even when everything else has gone to shit? Take a moment to review all the things that you hold and juggle and ask yourself if you want each of them. Ask yourself, can you show up even when you have nothing to give? Things get really hard sometimes. And by get really hard, I mean things take effort. It takes effort to be present. We go through divorce, parents die, children die, friendships end. We lose our jobs. We lose our homes. We get checked into psych wards or rehab facilities. We lose control. As humans, we experience despair at its deepest contraction points. And yet, contraction and expansion is possible at the same time. When you have nothing left to give, show up and give anyways. Not because you're striving for a 10K or 20K or 50K month. Not because you're reaching for a promotion or because you want to one up your sibling or daughter to be daughter or son of the year. Not because you want to be the best or because you want to make someone else happy. Show up to show up because it's all you've got. You are all you've got. And then allow the 10K, the 20K, the 50K month. Allow the promo or the recognition or the thank you. Allow the results and the rewards to follow, but do not show up for them. If you're juggling and holding only in all of the things that you want to be, if you're living in alignment with yourself, then when shit hits the fan, you'll surprise yourself at your capacity, at your grace, at your energy, at what you can give, if you can be fully present. There is a well inside of you, flowing from places that you didn't know existed within you. And if you're not there, if you're not only holding all of the things that you want to be, you can still access this well. It looks a little different, but it's possible if you show up in compassion and total presence. When you give all of yourself to what's in front of you. When you have nothing left to give, show up and give anyways. Give it all. In the right circumstance, you will discover that you alone are more than enough. And that is the truth. Thank you for listening to the Spiritual 9 to 5 podcast with myself, Marie, from the Corporate Psychic. Save and follow for more wisdom. I also invite you to follow me on Instagram at the Corp Psychic, and I would love for you to join our community. It's called TCP Community and Courses, and you can find it on Mighty Networks. And if you want to go big on you, reach out. I want to work with you. Wherever you are, whatever is on your mind, I hope to meet again, maybe in the next episode right here. I'm honoring you, and with gratitude, good day.